Hey everyone, welcome back to Absolutely. My name is Benny, that is Sal, and that is Hassan, and you get a cookie if you can figure out what's on my t-shirt. Today we're going to be talking about boycotting movies, and should you or should you not do it, and does it even work or matter? Today's video is brought to you by our sponsors. G Fuel, use the code COMICS at checkout, get yourself some Naruto flavor. You got it right here. Boom. I don't know what it is, but for some weird reason, I've been pouring all my drinks in glasses to feel fancy lately. I don't know what it is.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
The Naruto flavor.
I don't watch
really
that
good.
show, okay? I don't watch that one. It doesn't mean the flavor's not good. And don't forget to check out some of the softest t-shirts I've had that are basically one of our sponsors, Into the AM, super soft t-shirts. Check them out. Link is down below. And if you want to support us directly, join up for YouTube memberships where you get extra videos that we end up recording that don't fit on the channel, such as what is going on behind Benny. Anyway, today I wanted to bring this up because I tweeted out, was it a tweet? Yes, it was a tweet. I was tweeting out about the Flash comic book that they just came out with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, which is a prequel to the movie. It's a series of stories that are prequels to the movie with interesting choices in art, which actually kind of worked for me, but it's a totally different discussion. And there was a response to that tweet, I will not be seeing this movie if Ezra Miller is still in it. Well, spoilers, Ezra Miller is still in it. But
and will be.
That got me thinking, how many times have I've gotten in arguments with people about it before? Honestly, I think it's kind of an entitled philosophy of we should all boycott something because one person did something wrong.
Right.
You know, another great example of that right now, and you've been in arguments involved with this, Hassan, the Harry Potter game. Where people are stating because J.K. Rowling is anti-trans, like that, and we're not going to go into that argument, that's a whole totally different controversy, that you should not get the Harry Potter game. What this, straight off the bat, I can tell you right now, if you don't go see the movie because of Ezra Miller, or you don't get the game because of J.K. Rowling, the hundreds of people who got paid for that and will get paid for that, well, you're kicking everyone else out of a job because you want to boycott something. But
if you were successful.
They got paid at the front of this situation. Like, that's what people need to keep in mind. Like, J.K. Rowling got paid a licensing deal. That doesn't mean J.K.'s been involved in anything, or maybe they have a back-end deal where they're going to get some more money down the road. More likely than not, they don't. But you know who always has back-end deals about as far as success and like being able to be rehired?
Yeah.
The developers, the
crew
artists,
on the movie,
the
and
script
the additional
writers,
cast members in the movie. So, but I don't really want to go into that, Jenna. What I want to talk about is if we were to all say, let's boycott something, and we're going to do it, does it even work? Now, I have examples of other movies that were boycotted, but before we get into that, what do you guys think?
No, it never works. It's never worked.
I can't.
At worst, it raises the optics of the thing you're boycotting, and at worst, and at best, it raises awareness about your cause, which is really the reason to boycott anything. Like, the reason to boycott is to raise awareness about a subject you feel strongly about. Like, it's like when like a third or fourth party member in American politics like runs for president. Like, you're never gonna win. The reason they do it is so they can like get attention on their topic, you know? And I think that's the equivalent of like boycotting a movie is like, hey, I'm getting a group of people together. Me and Spartacus over here we're all going to not go see this movie. And it's like, here's the reason for it. And someone will write an article about it or make a video about it or make multiple videos, multiple articles about it. And if it gets more traction, more people will get involved. And hopefully it sends a message to the studio that says like, oh my God, if 100 people get together and say they're going to boycott my movie, that means like secretly there's 1 million people at home that would boycott my movie if they cared more. So it means that I should change how I do my thing. That's like, I think, the mentality. I don't think anybody expects the movie to get taken down. I mean, if they do, I'm sorry, it's never going to happen. Like,
and I think there is a group that does think that, and Hassan, I want to get you next, but based on like the random comments I get, it's not like I'm not going to go see the Flash because Ezra Miller's in it. # boycott Flash. # this. Go to change.org. It's literally just, I'm not going to see it because Ezra Miller's in it.
Right.
Like,
it's like that's fine for you.
Yeah.
That's like not eating meat because you have a moral objection to the to the process. Like, cool.
Right. And honestly, it's like you're not going to change the meatpacking industry. You're not going to change the success of that movie. But
exactly.
Hey, do you, man? They're like, I am that way for. There's a music artist named DaBaby. He was huge a few years ago. Huge for several years. I watched the video of him on Twitter. He killed somebody in a Walmart. And he's also said very like publicly homophobic things. I just don't listen to things with him in it. That's my choice. My friends still do every now and then, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like pay to see it, like whatever. I don't like DaBaby because that is something that I firmly do not agree with. At the same time, do I think me not listening to DaBaby is going to change his ability to make billions of dollars a year, millions of dollars a year? No. Yeah. He has a song with Lil Nas X, man.
Never going to happen.
Come on.
But it helps you.
I actually disagree entirely with boycotting stuff. Removing from based on people sending me messages. Because I agree with the rest of the crew should get paid. One person messing up should not take down an entire movie or an entire game or an entire developer. I don't agree with that at all. For me, that feels very short-sighted. Because that just says, like, in the case of Hogwarts, do you really think J.K. Rowling gives a crap if you buy this game that she has no ties or links to?
Well, she got her licensing fee, right? Like, she was paid, she got it. Like, it's
just over. Like Ezra Miller already got their paycheck for showing up. Sure, they're going to miss out on a lot of residuals, but the upfront paycheck was in the millions.
Right.
Why do you think that they think that they're Jesus? Which is the discussion for another video, but they actually said that in an article, Sal, that I'm sure they're Jesus.
I'm sure they're making it up.
I don't know, but no, it was an interview where Ezra Miller stated.
No, I'm sure they are making it up, and they're either doing it for like one reason or another. But like, I don't put stock in anything they have to say.
Right. We'll look at that article as a separate video. But
right.
So right at the bat, in my opinion, on boycotting, I don't agree with it unless it's one actual person. Sal, I don't like you, and you're the only person on Comic Pop.
Yep.
So I'm going to boycott you. Like, okay,
plenty of people who already do.
Sense.
Yep.
Don't worry, they do the same thing to me at Comic Story. But anyway, I at least okay. So I already don't agree with it. But I got in this argument with someone a long time ago when I said something about going to Chick-fil-A, which is well known for being anti-gay. The executives are.
Yep.
And because of that, there is a standing boycott to don't go to Chick-fil-A if you agree with that.
Yeah, that's right.
I went to Chick-fil-A because there was never a Chick-fil-A by me. And when I first got into Comic Story, we had a Chick-fil-A next to us. And I was like, oh my God, what is this magical chicken place?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And I got hit with, oh my God, how could you go there? You're obviously anti-gay. Now, first off, going or not going someplace that you've decided to boycott does not mean that you agree with their political point of views on things. Okay, I like fried chicken. That's all that is.
Right. Yeah. But I understand their point of like there's complacency implied, right?
And I agree, and I do agree with that. But the point I responded with, sure, I can stop going to Chick-fil-A because that one's probably the more. The time I wasn't even aware of the situation. When you're not near a Chick-fil-A, that never comes up. Okay,
it's true. Yeah.
In Alabama, you can't not be near Chick-fil-A. There's a Chick-fil-A 5 miles, 3 miles, 2 miles, 10 miles, 6 miles, and 8 miles from me. And those aren't just jokes. Those aren't joke numbers. Those are real numbers.
Here in Jersey, we only have one. We have one in my area. Yeah.
And what I'm saying is I wasn't even aware of this boycott until I tweeted, I went to a Chick-fil-A.
Right. That'll do it.
And the thing is, my Chick-fil-A in my town in Alabama, the entire staff of the one Chick-fil-A that I'm thinking of is gay. I don't know how it happened, but for whatever reason, everyone who works there is gay. And it's really hilarious just because of the fact that the company hates gay people. But dang, does it employ a bunch of them? And that's obviously anecdotal to my specific situation. But I respect the people who are like, no, I don't want to support that. I want to stay away from it. At the end of the day, though, understand the impact. Right?
Well,
you're not going to change anything.
That's what
you're
I brought up.
Melt
the
down
person
industry.
told me not to go to Chick-fil-A. So I just, in my usual argumentative sense, whenever somebody hits something I'd like to fight about, I'll fight about it. Brought up by that logic, and I pulled up every company we are supposed to be boycotting based on some executive level political view. And it was Starbucks. It was Target. It was Walmart. It was like big locations that I can tell you right now, someone somewhere is still going to, even though they disagree with the morality of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Every place has been boycotted for something.
Totally.
So obviously it hasn't worked. Just like the fact that there is a Chick-fil-A every 2 miles from Hassan's house tells you boycotting Chick-fil-A hasn't worked. And so I found 10 movies that were boycotted that are successes.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think to end, before we go into these, just to kind of wrap up, I personally don't think boycotting works. You need to do it on a massive level, but a change.org petition doesn't seem to work. Tweeting at me to not get fried chicken doesn't work. I still got the fried chicken that day. It was still really good. Now I go to Popeyes, but that's a different discussion. Popeyes get really good with their nuggets,
That's fair. Yeah. People are very hyped about
What's that look? You don't like Popeyes?
Mixed opinion. I've never once gone to a Popeyes and got what I ordered. That is the worst customer service that has existed on the face of the earth.
Once again, your anecdotal evidence, though. It's
anecdotal. How many goddamn Popeyes do I have to go to before it's evidence, man? I've gone to 10. I wanted to try that sandwich so bad. The sauce in the sandwich is good, and the bun is good. But I'd rather put a Chick-fil-A patty into that. That's my opinion on Popeyes.
Fair.
But I think we can all agree boycotting in general doesn't work unless, like, I've never seen that type of thing work. A Change.org has never worked. I've never seen that stuff work.
It doesn't work in the conceit of boycotting. Like, if you boycott, I think that you should be aware that, you know, and then there's the definition of boycotting, but, like, if you boycott a movie, video game, restaurant, like, whatever, really what you're doing is you are using something for another purpose. Like, you may not get it shut down, but you may change policy based on using a boycott to try and raise awareness about the subject you care about. You know, it's like being basically like union striking. You know, it's like you're technically boycotting the company you work for, and it's like that does work because you are keeping the work, you know, the place you work from having people produce at the job. So you're strangleholding their production and their money until they meet your demands, or at the very least meet you halfway. Boycotting a movie because you don't like the actor in it or because you don't like the subject matter. I mean, like, famously or infamously, 100 years ago, there was this movie called Dogma, and I remember Kevin Smith wrote and directed it, and he heard there was going to be a boycott, and so he went to it and pretended to be an outraged boycotter at the event, and, like, had a sign made that had an expletive in it, and by the way, when he got to the boycott, it was like 4 people.
Yeah,
like, nobody was there. It was organized by, like, outraged parents that were Catholic, and it was like, but it was he met these people, and they were like, you know, outside of their opinions about movies, you know, they were like, they're Americans, they're people, you know, they were perfectly reasonable human beings, you know, and it was like, it's just this sweet little, like, kind of come together moment. But it got on the news, and it got people talking about it, and in his case, it got people to go see the movie. You know,
well, and the movies I've got listed here, I think that happened with almost all of them.
It had to be, right?
We had a discussion of these earlier, and there's one in particular that sounded like, that one might have squeaked by profitability.
I think so, yeah.
But I think for other reasons.
Exactly.
So the movies I got here, the first one on the list was that Mad Max Fury Road was boycotted because of the fact that it had women.
Really? Oh, I didn't catch that. I don't remember. That movie's amazing, and time was not on their side.
No,
on that one.
But I'm just saying, it was supposedly boycotted and canceled.
Oh, okay.
When trailers were released, they were ecstatic at the prospect of another entry into the Mad Max franchise. However, everyone but a men's rights blog called for a boycott, claiming the film was feminist propaganda posing as a guy flick.
Okay.
Yo. I just heard the term men's right blog, and I don't think I'll ever be the same man I was before I heard that term. That's the dumbest thing. No,
so
guys.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I don't remember even hearing a thing about that.
I didn't remember that one being boycotted either. But the movie was made under a budget of $150 million and made just shy of $400 million.
Was it made $150?
And to this day is one of my favorite movies. That movie was great. I loved it.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, time is not on their side. It was great, and everybody loved it. And it looks great, and whatever. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
True.
They also boycotted the Harry Potter franchise before the current situation.
What was the last beef?
Yeah.
The Harry Potter had a boycott of 11 years. There was an 11-year boycott on every single Harry Potter movie. Religious groups took extreme issue with the book's apparent occult and satanic themes, claiming adventures of Harry Potter and his friends would cause the children to turn to dark magic.
Okay,
sure.
Now that's stupid. That's a D&D argument. I think you could have boycotted it because of the racism and the fact, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Her choices of names for characters.
I remember the one Asian character, Cho Chang.
I didn't read any of those books, but I do remember when she was introduced, and I was like, for real? Like,
really?
No, when it happened, I remember being like, "Are you for real?" Like,
there's no way we can't.
Do you want to know how oblivious and I've only become more aware of it, but like I've always said, I always avoid arguments. I was oblivious. I was oblivious to weird names, racial stuff, or whatever. Because I've always never really looked at everything. I've just always been like, and here's the movie, taking it as fact.
Sure.
I, to this day, loved Tropic Thunder and was like, there was a brief moment where I was like, isn't blackface supposed to be bad?
Right.
Oh, well, it's in a movie.
No, yeah. When I watched Harry Potter, I don't remember thinking. I was very young. I was a kid, so I didn't think much of it. But the moment I watched those movies as an adult, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Cho Chang? That's like J.K. Rowling wrote Ching Chong, and her editor was like, that's not approved.
It's a little
We're
too
not
obvious.
letting that slide. And then she changed to that. He's like, that's not much better, Joe. What are you doing? And then they kept it in there.
Yeah.
There are so many things. There's like the Pravati twins in that movie too. Like everyone wears these like beautiful ball dresses. They wear like Dollar General shalvar kameezes, like these beautiful dresses that should be stunning beyond recognition. They're the ugliest. They're like wearing like a Walmart T-shirt and a scarf and a skirt. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that. It's trash. Don't go at them because of the religion. Harry Potter.
No.
Well, Casino Royale from 2006 was also on this boycott list.
I remember that. I remember people being really upset.
Because true Bond fans were furious that he was chosen to portray the character. Because he had blonde hair was the biggest reason.
He was blonde.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember that at all. There's even a
do.
website, Daniel Craig is not blonde, claiming that Craig can't be blonde for reasons such as his hair color, his rough face, and previous acting roles. Despite this, I think he's done them all the way up until what, a year ago? That was the last one?
Yeah, no. I remember people being really upset because they like did that reverse gender swap on, the infamous or the cinema classic moment when like was it Ursula Andress comes out of the water and she's wearing that bathing suit, and they made a male equivalent for Daniel Craig to come out of the water in that bathing suit, and people were like, "What's happening? Well, my boner is really confused."
They also boycotted The Passion for the Christ, of the Christ.
Yeah.
That one I remember. Was that a Mel Gibson going crazy?
Yeah. I don't remember a boycott, but I was in college.
Oh, the Jewish community basically said that they returned evil in the movie, so they wanted to boycott it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was pretty rough. Yeah, I'm laughing because I remember it being like really egregious.
Yeah.
Then
we come to find out Mel Gibson's very anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and it's like, oh,
Come to
come to discover.
Mel Gibson's entire existence is anti-Semitic. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a solid one.
The Hateful Eight, one of Tarantino's biggest movies, is boycotted.
I don't remember that.
Not because of the violence or the choice language, but because Quentin Tarantino in The Hateful Eight had multiple boycotts, some of which are created and backed by the U.S. police unions and organization due to comments he made about Black Lives Matter.
Oh,
the
demonstration-
so it's boycott by silly rabbits.
Yeah. So he denounced the police officers as murderers, causing some to accuse Tarantino of promoting anti-police sentiments. Because of this, his movie received a boycott.
Dude, I'm gonna go watch that movie now. I wasn't here before, but now I'm gonna go see it. Go off, Tarantino.
But I mean, of all
your
the things, like that's a great example because The Hateful Eight is a great example of they decided to, because of things he said or did not related to the movie. Our previous ones at least had things in the movie that they wanted to boycott.
Right.
But The Hateful Eight was all, and it was made for $40 million and made $160.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example to line up with The Flash because that's exactly what people. It's not that The Flash is. Apparently, it's an amazing movie. Supposedly,
according to the people who made it, they think it's amazing.
The moment they find out the movie is going to be canceled for sure, we're going to have at least 6 more weeks of this is the greatest. Critics love this movie. Oh my god, it's a 10 out of 10, and then we can't show you the movie.
Yeah. This is the one that Sal and I brought up before this. The 2016 reboot of the Ghostbusters, which was being boycotted for 2 reasons. One, that it completely ignored Ghostbusters lore and didn't need to be rebooted. And 2, there was the other group boycotting it because of the women in it. Yep. I have seen that movie. I watched it on digital when it finally came out.
Yep.
It's not good. It's not terrible, but it's very much just, all right.
It's just not funny. It fails in its basic premise. It's like Sports Night. It's just like it's a thing that's billed as a comedy, and there's no jokes.
But that one was made for about $150 million and made about $240, which we think probably broke even after marketing costs.
Yeah, exactly. Like it did not make it was a risk, and they gambled wrong. Which, by the way, just as a really quick rant, I think there are certain movies that aren't really franchises or don't lend themselves to being franchises in the way that they think they are. Like, Ghostbusters is not a tentpole franchise. Ghostbusters is a great movie. It's got a fun sequel that's not regarded by anybody, and a fantastic cartoon that sold a lot of toys. But that does not mean that we can have that we can spend $100 million on a Ghostbusters movie.
The problem with the Ghostbusters movie is no matter what the plot is, including the new one.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters isn't as big of an idea as a lot of people think it is.
No.
Because the plot is always going to boil down to there's this one really big spooky spirit that we need to stop.
Yeah.
Oh no, how are we going to stop it?
Ghostbusters is a near perfect movie, and yet it is perfect in as much as it's its structure and its iconography, but also the fact that it is both a comedy and like a franchise movie. Like it's a movie and also a legitimate comedy, and it is entirely on the strength of the people who made it and who are in it. Yeah. Like you can't just go like, oh, we're gonna do Ghostbusters, but it's Men in Black and it's over here. And it's gonna be $500 million. Like you're not gonna make that money back. It's a comedy. Right. It's like being like, oh, I'm gonna spend $250 million on a new Caddyshack movie. Like you're just not gonna make that money back.
I feel like you have thoughts, Hassan. What are they?
Oh man, I didn't watch Ghostbusters. I haven't seen any of them.
That doesn't. I knew you didn't. I knew before I even met you.
I know the entire plot of Ghostbusters because of how relevant it is to pop culture mythos,
right?
And the fact that there's like an episode of How I Met Your Mother where Marshall Erickson's walking down the street and bumps into the guy from Ghostbusters, and I don't know, he says some iconic line, and then he looks at there's a firehouse for sale, and then he tries to buy a firehouse, and his wife won't let him. So I've seen that, and then I was actually curious if the new Ghostbusters was any good. I was going to ask you guys later.
It's fine.
The Finn Wolfhard one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that one's good. I like that one. I thought it was pretty fun.
Okay, cool.
Our next one I didn't even hear of, and this is another chance where the boycotting may have actually worked because it wasn't individuals, but it was companies boycotting another company.
There you go. Now you're talking.
2015, Beasts of No Nation was bought by Netflix, and they did not honor the 90 days limited run in theaters before putting it on Netflix and did a same-day release. Theaters, in response, limited the screenings and the viewings and pulled it out of half of their theaters.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
It didn't. The movie was made for $6 million and still made $90 million.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, no, you're moving.
That's a corporation against another corporation, and it didn't work.
The movie cost $6 million. That's a low-budget movie.
That's nothing but profit.
Yeah.
Somebody give me $6 million.
It's just an example of it.
If the movie's in English, it'll make its money back.
The movie's in English.
It's true.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens was being boycott Star Wars. Boycott Star Wars.
Did they boycott Star Wars? Have they ever? How would they ever
boycott such a beloved franchise?
Yeah, especially Force Awakens. Like I don't remember anyone getting upset because of a single shot in a trailer.
Yeah. No, Force Awakens was my first Star Wars movie.
This one is the more recent. It's anti-white and feminist agenda due to casting the lead actors. The hashtag did gain traction, but only thanks to the amount of users mocking it. Despite the overwhelmingly negative response to the boycott, the same groups were at it again a year later when people were asking people to hashtag dump Star Wars Rogue One.
Okay. Well, they didn't.
So it's basically there was a boycott attempt, but again, it didn't gain any traction. It didn't.
Awesome.
I mean, it got people talked about it. Like I remember people complain.
They talked about it. I mean, have you ever seen how well that movie did?
Yeah, it did well. Like they
have a show right now. They have a prequel show currently. So
that's right. That movie specifically, like Rogue One, has a prequel show. A show that I would be like, why did you make this? But also, apparently, is great.
But The Force Awakens was made for $300 million.
Yep.
And it box office is $2 billion. So that boycott didn't exactly get very far. Did not help.
Yeah.
If anything, it just made people be like, oh, this movie exists. Let's go have a look. Oh, this is what they're boycotting?
Yeah.
Then 50 Shades of Grey was boycotted. This one I didn't know.
That's fine.
The reasons people had to boycott this feature varied drastically. But the three main groups were given credit for leading the charge against 50 Shades of Grey. First, they were the anti-porn and anti-BDSM groups who believed that it was the same as physical abuse. The second group was fine with the BDSM, but took issue with the plot, claiming the relationship between the characters was abusive. The third group was comprised of people who participate in BDSM, but saw this film as a misrepresentation of BDSM.
Fair. So it was a movie for no one. I mean,
Do you guys know 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight fan fiction?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
that's literally what it is. So
it's awesome. I love that.
Awesome. It was the first big, massively marketed sex movie. Good luck taking down that one. Yeah. People in America are horny.
Showgirls existed. Like
I remember watching
existed at one point.
I remember when I was a kid.
American
I was like
Pie,
15. And my buddy, we were doing a sleepover, and his parents were out. And the first thing we did was went out and we rented Showgirls.
Oh.
And we popped it in. Oh. And if you want to talk about awkward, this is my childhood, Hassan. We didn't have free porn on the internet. We didn't have OnlyFans that you can go pay $5 for. We had none of these. So to get you're getting into that stride. You're discovering your kinks and your things, and then you pop in Showgirls, and your buddies are all around you, and you got the topless girls, and you're just like, I feel weird.
Yeah, especially because especially at that age, like it's Elizabeth Berkley. It's like, oh my God, it's Jessie.
Yeah.
Oh no, is Kelly in this? No. Okay.
And the last movie I've never heard of on this list, it's a Watch Mojo list, by the way.
Wow, they're a bastion of integrity.
Breaking down the top 10 movies that were almost canceled.
A Dog's Purpose.
Oh yeah, that.
The TMZ published a video depicting abuse of one of the dog actors. In the video, the dog is being shown dragged through running water in a tank for a scene, seemingly struggling and terrified. The video then jumps ahead to show the same dog submerged in water and a voice calling out "cut." This prompted a backlash, including a boycott called by PETA.
Yeah.
However, after investigation by the American Humane Society, they ensured that no animals were hurt in the set, and the video was discovered to be falsified, with the footage having been edited to be intentionally misleading.
Yeah, everybody hates PETA, so good luck getting anything off the ground. Fuck you,
seriously.
That's
not only
I'm pretty sure I saw this movie. Hold on, I'm pretty sure I saw this one.
The funny thing is about the American...
Oh yeah, it has a sequel. That movie is so sad. Well, okay. Do you know what that movie's about?
Yeah,
killing dogs. It's very sad.
It's about a dog that like lives multiple lives and like keeps like looking for its owner. Is that the idea?
Yeah, and he has to keep dying. So you literally get multiple dying horrific dog scenes as they're like saving the owners, looking for the new owners. Like,
this might make me a bad person, but I like tolerate death of human beings in movies far more than animals.
Same.
An animal dying, or like watching what do you call it? Sandman. Watching Sandman and the gargoyle. That one hurt my heart. But everybody else that was brutally murdered in that show, I was like, oh man,
they had to come and human beings know what they're doing. Animals will give you unconditional love no matter what you do to them. Like you have to go to extreme levels to break that bond with an animal. Yeah. Okay, like one person said it a long time ago when I first got cats.
Behind me. Wait,
people were like, "Oh, don't declaw your cats." And like I did a little bit because at the time I had no idea. Like we were debating it, and I had no idea like what it actually declawing meant and did.
Yeah.
And like somebody put it best. They're like, "You're literally ripping the fingertips off of cats, and they'll still love you unconditionally." Like that's the animal. Like it's just sad.
I let my cats scratch me as much as they want with their claws.
I did making biscuits.
They have to. They got to go to work. They got to make biscuits. They're bakers.
But in the end, you can try boycotting a movie such as The Flash. You can go for personal reasons, but attempting to get a giant movement, as we've shown you, doesn't really work. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go watch it because I think it's going to suck.
It's no different. What you need to look at boycotting a movie or a video game as a personal decision in the same vein as being something like a vegetarian.
Right.
You can say don't eat meat, but converting people to be a vegetarian, that 9 times out of 10 isn't going to work. Like, no. I mean, I know someone in the comments is going to be like, oh, actually, my buddy tried baked black bean burgers and was a huge fan of them. And
good
now
for you, man. You've done it.
And it does happen.
That's
It does happen. But you're not going to convert the mass populace to vegetarians. So.
No, it's like Casey Neistat when he was doing his like daily vlog in New York several years ago, and it's like one of the most popular things on YouTube. He doesn't drink alcohol, and he's like, somebody asked, I don't drink alcohol. Why do I have this entire bar cart here? Because I don't believe in imposing my beliefs upon others. If you come here and you want to drink, take a drink. I'm not drinking it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. That's where we're at with the video. Unless you guys disagree, I think I'll close out.
I disagree. Boycotts work, Benny, and you should stop eating your freaking spicy chicken sandwiches every day, guys. Benny the comic historian goes to Chick-fil-A and specifically says, is this the most homophobic location I can find? Because if it is, I want 30 spicy chicken sandwiches. He doesn't even eat them.
Now. I go to Popeyes now. and I will admit, it's not because of the homophobic ways they are. It's because it's impossible to get in that line. Popeyes is closer. So
we'll move faster. We'll move on.
Chick-fil-A lines in my area, they rebuilt all the Chick-fil-A's, rebuilt them so they have the biggest possible like drive-through situation. They have people walk up to you and take your orders, so you don't get to the stand thing anymore.
Yeah.
It is the fastest fast food possible.
Ours
I'm
is
not
not.
supporting
Ours is
Chick-fil-A.
not. It's like
guys.
going to
No.
an In-N-Out in LA. If you've done that, it's terrible.
No, In-N-Out in LA is hell.
Sucks.
Not doing that ever
It's
again.
hell. It's literally
not
hell.
worth the burger. It's not worth it.
Boo.
In-N-Out is bad. Hate me in the comments.
Yeah.
My name's
Oh, wow.
I don't know anything about them.
I will not stand on that hill. So anyway, we'll see you guys later. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video.
Bye.
Bye.